How brutal is that? That feeling of rejection, that sinking feeling in your stomach where someone just punched you in the gut. I mean, is there a worse feeling in the male experience than being rejected by a woman that you like? I want to actually share with you one of the most brutal rejections I ever got. Just so you can have a bit of a laugh at me, so I can laugh at myself, because I think that's the whole point, is to not take ourselves too seriously, and being able to laugh at the parts of us that we're most ashamed of or most vulnerable about. But let's just break down the scene a little bit. So there's this guy and this girl at this basketball game. I think the kiss cam comes on. Initially, it's like, oh, whoa, whoa. And then, like, she kind of turns to him and he kind of takes that as the green light, and he goes in and she's like, oh, and he's kind of like, what the hell? Like, why wouldn't you do it? And has to like look down at his phone or something like that, because it's like, it's just so cringe, like so intense. But think about this guy's situation. I'm just completely projecting on him, but I'm gonna guess that this guy has known this girl for a long time. I'm guessing that this guy is friends with this girl, but secretly has a crush on her, although he probably won't admit it to me, you, or even himself. But I remember when I was in like my nice guy way of thinking, I would always be like, yeah, well, I'm not a terrible guy, like I'm not terrible. Like, I mean, I might not be as attractive as those other guys, but like, surely if the situation was right, like she would want to do this with me, whether it's a kiss or hook up or make out or whatever it is. But truly in the feminine system, it's almost like always a no. Like he's like, well, if we were like on a kiss cam at a basketball game, like I'm sure Caroline would want to make out with me. I mean, she spends a lot of time with me. She tells me about all her problems and her issues. Like, why wouldn't she want to kiss me? But attraction is so freaking brutal that even under extreme fantasy situation that your mind creates, the girl probably still wouldn't want to hook up with you or hook up with a nice guy. It's just a really bad strategy. It's just terrible if your goal is to attract women. I remember when I was 13, I was on a bus with a girl I first had a crush on, and like we were like best friends, we were like besties, and we're just like hang out all the time. And I remember we had this conversation like, oh, would you rather marry someone you were attracted to or someone you were best friends with? And I think the question was kind of layered, because I'm like, well, we're kind of best friends, so blah blah blah. And she like looked at me and she's like, yeah, someone I'm attracted to. And I couldn't really make sense of it, because I was like, yeah, but like the attraction's going to fade at some point. And don't you want someone like you can have companionship with? And I think it is important in a relationship to have some level of companionship and friendship. So that's a different topic. But in my eyes, it was like, okay, I'm going to be like, I'm the good friend, the best friend. And then that's going to lead me into the relationship of where I want to go. Where in women's eyes, it's like, I'm either attracted to this guy or not. If I'm not, pretty much nothing else is going to get him there. But if I am, okay, cool. Well, now we can move forward from that point. So yeah, this guy on the camera, he's crushed. Not only does his rejection hurt for him, but now someone's captured it on live TV and it's being broadcast around the world, and I'm doing a breakout. So we shout some love to this guy. I hope you recover. Sending you some love and blessings there, brother. We've all been there myself. So in the spirit of brutal rejections, I want to share one I had with you when I was younger. So I don't know, maybe about like teenagers or like 19, 18. I don't know if it was 20s, maybe like late teens. I'm with my friend, and this guy's like a freaking alpha, like chick magnet. You'd always just pull like the hottest chicks. And we were talking to this girl at a bar or stuff like that. I think we kind of knew her. She was like on a holiday or something. And our friend's place was just like 5 minutes down the road, and it would always be like, oh, we're gonna go there and like have a drink or two and then we come back. It was like a way like to like get girls out the bar, and it actually worked really well. So we kind of say to this girl, I don't know how we both ended up, but it just somehow we're all three of us were in conversation like, oh, let's go pour a brandy and coke there, and we'll have one and then we'll come back. And she was like, okay, cool. And then like we get there and we're like at this place. It's kind of like a garden cottage type of thing at a friend's house. And then we're like chatting, and I don't know how the conversation gets there, but it was kind of like, oh, what if the three of us had a threesome or something? And she was like, That would be crazy. Or she kind of like didn't give a no. I can't remember exactly what was said, but like my attention like perked up. I'm like, oh wow, like something crazy is gonna happen. Like I was pretty sure she was attracted to him, but I wasn't sure she was attracted to me. But like this kind of gave me this false hope, of like, oh yeah, something's gonna happen. So anyway, we like finished the drink and nothing happens in that little garden cottage. But like as we're walking back to like the bar or club, um, again, like he takes her, and I can't remember if they were like holding or something, or like she was lying down on the ground, basically on the side of the road. And he like just went there on top of her and like just started like making out and like kissing her. And I'm kind of like watching this and I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna go in there afterwards. And he like stands up and gets off and starts like walking back. And I'm like, the moment of truth, like commit, like go down on the ground, like try start making out with her. And she like puts her hand in front of her face and turns away. And I remember like my mate like laughing at it. And that was the rejection that stung the most. I just felt like an idiot. Um, also getting rejected in front of my mate. They would walk back to the place, and it was just brutal. And I know all guys out there felt a rejection, better or worse, but it just stings. It's really, really painful. But a lot of the time, the guy deserves it. It's like I was completely not owning so much of myself. I was still a young man. I didn't know who I was. I had so many insecurities, all of these things. And I'm glad she rejected me. I'm so glad all the women who rejected me rejected me. I'm so glad all the women who broke up with me broke up with me. I'm so glad all the women who broke my heart broke my heart, because it forced me to evolve. I was very underdeveloped as a man. And it's almost like if one of those girls actually wanted me and stayed with me, it would have stunted my growth and development. So with all the rejections and the pain, that actually forced me to like find answers like, okay, this isn't okay. Most guys they're like, even though their results suck, they still think it's okay on some level. So they just stay there. But sometimes you need something like really brutal to happen, like your girl cheats on you or like some crazy thing until you're like, yeah, I'm not as good as I thought I was, and that's okay. But now I can start taking my growth and my development a lot more seriously. So if you're in that camp, if you feel like, yeah, I need to start taking my growth and development a lot more seriously, maybe just had a brutal rejection, some girl you really like cheated on you. If you want some coaching, if you want some help, reach out to me on Facebook, Daniel White, send me a message. Tell me what's going on for you, and let's see how we can help you. Hope you enjoyed the video today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.